Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to my channel once again. Bloop. This is my video number 7. This is going to be the last video of my Ayoma vlog series. Today will be about BGS, aka the Black Girl Struggle, the Universal Woman in the workplace, social and other settings. As I said, this will be my last video of my vlog series. Hopefully I can expand on my thoughts, and even with these videos, hopefully I can, add some more people and actually get different perspectives about these topics that I've been talking about, 1 through 6 and now 7. I appreciate the love from those who supported and encouraged me to do this and finish it to the end. When I first started doing my vlog series, it actually took me about 5 years just to gain the confidence to want to pursue it, to want to do it. I know that when I first started doing this, I was vlogging, so I used to do a lot of blogs on Tumblr about it. And I found 7 consistencies in my writings. So that's how this all came about, is from looking back at all the things that I had written down over the years. These were like the 7 topics that showed up a lot and frequently in how I chose to express myself. Then I was kind of convinced that niggas don't read no more. So why am I writing all this shit? And niggas don't even like reading the newspaper. They don't even like reading a little bitty article, let alone reading how someone feels or the climate of our society. They don't want to read that. So I decided to do this with the help of a woman named Maxine. She's actually was my previous hairstylist and actually encouraged me to get my word out there, to verbalize my writings and to do it often. So it's still a work in progress. But I appreciate you, Maxine, for even giving me the pep talk about doing this. Because I feel like even though I don't have a lot of followers, I don't have a lot of people that listen to me, I appreciate the ones that do, and I appreciate the ones that care about what I have to say and my views about things. A lot of men were telling me when they started watching my videos, well, sex sells, so maybe you should show some of them titties. Like, that's not what this is for. That's not the information I'm trying to give out. You know what I mean? Like, I have thought about this a lot, and I experience it in my own walk of life. So to be degraded into something that's just like ass and titties, like, I might as well call me big girl Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know what you want to call me, but I wasn't cool with that. And people telling me to monetize off of it and do this, do that. Sometimes we just need you to listen. Sometimes we need to know that our voices are heard too. So that's another reason why I'm saying I appreciate everyone who has stuck with me this far to the finish line, because usually Gemini life, I don't finish it. Like, I will start something dope for you and I will not finish. So I'm pretty proud of myself today, and I'm clear of party favors, 100% sober for now. But I felt like this information needed me to be sober. So first, we're going to start off with my shout outs. Shout outs to the creator for creating all this extra. You feel me? Thank you for that. Thank you for giving me my gifts and my talents. That's my first shout out, of course. You act like I'm on a award show, I feel like everyone should be thanking the creator first. I would also like to shout out to Sister Aphrodite Stone. She was actually my idea behind the series. So when it comes to the color codes, I don't know if you guys really pay attention like that, but when it comes to the color codes of the videos, they are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and this one will be purple. The reason why I did that, when I first started my spiritual journey and tried to look outside of the traditional Baptist journey, I actually was put onto her by an acquaintance, and I did a meditation that she had on her YouTube. And it was a meditation for ancestral lineage. So going deep into talking to those ancestors and trying to heal yourself from that. From that, I was just intrigued, like, what is Sister Aphrodite about? She does readings, she does healing, she does a lot of things. She even has her own website. So I would suggest y'all check it out. I'll probably have some of her videos in my on my channel, just so you know, could get a link to it, a quick link, and see what she's talking about, because she's the one who inspired me to kind of connect this with the chakras, and doing that work. So thank you, Sister Aphrodite, for expanding my mind and getting me to the point where I wanted to motivate myself to heal and break the cycle of what I've been through. I want to shout out to my besties, Ashley C, Teresa S. I want to shout out to Miranda C, Tasha. Shout outs to y'all. Y'all gave me some good opinions on what you think that I should talk about today. So I'm going to talk about everything that we talked about last night and then some. Miss Brenda, thank you. Maxine and Wynetta H. These are Black women who have encouraged me to keep going through this journey, no matter what I've gone through. We've probably seen each other in different situations, work-wise, just struggling to make it. And those are the ladies who kind of helped me get clarity on, you know, where I want to go, who I want to be. I'll also say Yakira, shout outs to Yakira, shout outs to Sharon. These are Black women I've met, and I put in quotations, by the grace of God, because one of them's an Uber driver. Well, both of them were my Uber drivers, but we became acquaintances. And y'all are doing your own things in your communities, social media wise and on YouTube. I believe Yakira, she does reviews for Black owned products from Black owned businesses. So shout out to that. We don't have a lot of people doing that. Sharon, she has her own YouTube series about the life of an Uber driver, and she shares a lot of her life. And I appreciate the Black women that encourage us to do so, and that encourage us to be and look outside of ourselves when it comes to helping each other. And last but never least, my last shout out goes to my most favorite lady in my life. It is my mother. And she was a former teacher. She is now a principal of an elementary school. She's fucking dope. She would not like me to say that, especially with the cuss words in it. But I want to make it all about us today. And the thing that I am inspired with my mother about the most, and I've told people this, I have told her this, but this is where I really wanted to make it simple and plain for people. My mother grew up in a town that was majority white. Not a lot of opportunities were given to Black people, let alone Black women. She was told as a youth that she would never amount to anything, or she would live on welfare and yada, yada, yada. You know, all the negative shit that white people like to stereotype us with. And from that, the reason why I'm inspired by my mother so much, not only she taught us to love ourselves and see that our people are doing great things out here. Like, you don't have to be an entertainer. You can be whatever you want to be as long as you apply. She was one of those people. She is one of those people. She still does that for people's children today. So for me, what makes my heart flutter the most about her journey and her story is that even through everything that she went through as a child, as an adolescent, as a young adult, she motivated herself enough to love herself enough to say, I'm not going to be in this situation. And ironically, it turned into her being the exact person that she needed growing up. She ended up being that for other people's children. And even to this day, there's people that, you know, I went to school with that'll be like, man, I used to hate math. If it wasn't for your mom, man, like I would still hate math. You know, like there's influence that we have that sometimes we don't even know. We just think this is just who I am. But it means a lot to other people. And I just want to shout that out. I also want to shout out that my eyebrows and my hair look crazy as fuck. But today the message was so important and I was so excited about getting it out that I needed to do it. Fuck how I'm looking, fuck beating my face up, fuck all that. Like, this is who I am. So I'm going to present to you in how I look on an everyday basis, even with an ashy head. I'm cool with it. Like, and I wish other people would be more open about who they are. Like, just because you get a haircut doesn't mean get on live today or get on Facebook and show out. Like, I wish people would show themselves and reveal who they are, reveal their authenticity and their truth without having to be all dolled up. So that's another reason I wanted to wear my afro in this one, but I was not taking all this weave out this morning, okay? This is my only day off. I'm going to enjoy it. So that is why my mother inspires me. That was a hell of a side note, but that's why my mother inspires me. I feel like she even continues to make her dreams come true. No matter what she's told, no matter who says what is in the way, she's going to do what she feels I've always set out to do. And for example, I had to bring her book, and it's called Amila's Adventure, Remembering the 1920 Tulsa Race Massacre by my mother. And this is also a testimony to her story. She loves school. She loves reading. She's been an educator for several years, for 30 plus years. So for her to make this book, Amila is actually my niece, her granddaughter. And for her to make this book was just like another dream that, she planned out in her head. Like, I want to do this. I want to write a children's book. And she ended up doing it. If you don't have it, you can find it on Amazon. I believe you can find it on Rose Dog Books as well. And it's kind of a child-friendly explanation of the Tulsa Race Massacre and what happened and why. It's pretty good. I love it. And it's not just because I'm biased, but probably because I'm biased. But yes, I wanted to share that. Now I'm ready to get into it. Also, before I forget, I know this is about the Black girl struggle today. I know this is about the Black queens. But I almost forgot, and it would have been rude of me. Shout out to the Black men, the Black kings that are in our lives, that make sure that to hold us accountable, that support us, that love us unconditionally. I do not have a man or husband in my life, but I do have a father. I do have a brother that hold Black women in high regard and have always taught me that I am enough no matter what. So I want to shout out to men like that. I want to shout out to the men that stay supportive, that didn't have negative feedback or anything to say about what I'm doing and my purpose for doing it. You guys deserve your flowers while you're here. We don't talk about you guys enough, or the ones that do support us and love us unconditionally. So I just wanted to say thank you before I get started. All right. So starting off, Black girl struggle. We should finally start coming to terms that we are enough, no matter what we've been conditioned to think about ourselves. A lot of us think that we're not light enough, we're not dark enough, we're not small enough, thin enough, big enough, not pretty enough. It's time to dead all that shit. Like, we are enough. No matter what we're doing, we are enough, and we have to know this for a fact. To start off, that one is beauty. So let's be honest here. Beauty has not always been taught to us with examples that look like us. I believe people outside of us should understand that. Even if we're not the most beautiful, sexiest women according to our society, there are definitely things about us that exude beauty and sexiness, be it physical attributes or something simple as personality characteristics. Whether programming or natural interests developed us to feel this way, in my opinion, it seems like we're more focused on our ideals or someone else's ideals of beauty more than anything when it comes to education, knowledge of self, hobbies, and beauty. So to me, when I think about growing up, I grew up in Oklahoma. So I grew up where there is a lot of white people. And when you look at magazines, even whenever you're not looking about your demographic in the area that you live in, look through magazines. You look at representation on cartoons or TV, and all you see is white bitches. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you feel beautiful in a society that's never showing women that look like you or girls that look like you and claim to be beautiful? It's always something to where it feels like, okay, this is the white standard and this is what I need to look like. So I need to dye my hair blonde. I need to put in these blue contacts. You know, certain shit that's, to me, is not normal nor beautiful. It might have been beautiful like way back when I didn't know who I was. But now that I am well aware, I feel like I'm cool with how I look. Even my beauty, as far as my daily maintenance, I'm not putting on makeup every day. Half the reason why is probably because I'm lazy as fuck. Other reason is I don't have anyone to impress. I know what I look like. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with how I look, even with my flaws and all. I feel like a lot of times, especially whenever I was younger, I get a lot of compliments now about my freckles and my gap. But I remember being younger and being teased for things like that. So when it comes to our beauty, I feel like we're subconsciously taught that we could receive whatever we want and need because of how we look. And I feel like we learned that from European women because we're so used to seeing them get what they want no matter what. I'm a 90s baby, so what I remember, what's her name? Pamela Anderson. I remember the bombshells, the what do they call them? The bimbos. They used to call them bimbos back in the day, but they used to get everything that they fucking wanted. And to me, I'm just like, okay, that's cool, you know, but it's not, I don't think it's the reality. And I know that a lot of people do think it's the reality, but I feel like just along with education and your hobbies and stuff like that, if you were the prettiest girl, then you can get this. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get straight A's because you are gentle on the eyes, which makes no fucking sense. Not saying that people actually do that, but just something to think about. So next, I'm going to talk about the stereotypes when it comes to how we look in our beauty. Most people think things are easier and made easier for us, work-wise, leadership, and administrative duties, because we are women. We can get anything we want. And to me, I just have question marks, like all because we have boobs and a vagina. Make it make sense. If we talk about Black female perspective, if women can do and have everything and anything, and it's so easy for us, why was there a women's liberation movement? I'm going to move away from the what I was just going through because I was ready for that. But I feel like a lot of people think about our stereotypes and think because we're women, we can have things a certain way or things are made easier for us. And I don't think that's necessarily true. These are all just my opinions because I feel like we still have a struggle because I'm still a Black woman. So even if I am a woman, I'm still not as desirable as non-Black women. You know what I mean? Okay. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Why was there a women's liberation movement if women can have anything and everything that they want? Not only that, but why is it a known fact that this liberation movement was set in place to distract people for fighting for civil rights? So to me, if this was really about liberation of women, one, why are women still complaining about receiving less wages than their male coworkers? There's other instances as well. And two, we can argue that Black women are given more opportunities than Black men, but at what cost? Are these really good opportunities when it forces us to leave behind the main person or persons we know we can't survive this life without? So when it comes to professionalism of a job or saying that we can get anything we want, can we really? Because I feel like it's always with us as far as Black individuals. Okay, you can do certain things, but we're only going to let you go so far. You know what I'm saying? I can probably be a prominent figure at my job, but if they don't want to see me be that prominent figure, I'm probably not going to have a chance. Or I'm probably going to have to explain why I would be able to be fit into that role and what would that look like for me. You know, we always get fucking the third degree when it comes to everything. So you know that we're capable of doing this, but because of the color of my skin, I have to make sure. So do you really think that this job is good for you? You know, that kind of shit. But I will talk about that when I get to the workplace. I'm getting ahead of myself. I told you I'm overly excited for this, so please be patient with me. And this is sober, Kaisha, so please be patient with that as well. Doesn't happen often. Sometimes I think even our own people tend to forget that we're Black too. Why, when we speak upon the women's liberation movement, is it referred to as the source of when Black women left Black men behind? In capital letters, I put, why are we not noticing the patterns? I feel like, what about the women who were okay with their lifestyles before the movement? What about those who had loved ones that they relied on and they were supported by before their lives were lost in the service? Be if they were in the military, Navy, any of that. Our treatment is more similar than different compared to any woman or women you'll ever grow to know. So why do you choose to treat us as if we're your enemies? I feel like a lot of times, I feel like lately in this climate, if I'm going to be real, I'm going to just be real with myself. I'm going to be real with myself. I'm going to be real with you. I feel like I'm getting a lot of bullshit from a lot of niggas right now. Niggas in general is everybody to me, but right now I'm thinking Black men. Like, I don't understand why, if we have the same struggle, we have the same level of understanding, we go through the same discrimination, we go through the same fuckery, but yet you choose to battle me. You choose to fight with me all the time. Why am I the one that you're fighting with? Why can't you fight with me? You should be on my side, as I should be on your side, because we're not perfect as women either. So we can be honest about that. I would love for our brother to tell me what they would think about that. But to me, it seems like there's definitely programming that consistently puts us against each other. One night I was watching Watch What Happens Live. Andy Cohen, he's messy as fuck, but I'm here for the gay messy niggas. Like, I'm here for it. But he was talking to Terry Crews one night, and I don't know if you guys remember, but there was an instant where Terry Crews had came out and revealed that he was groped by someone in the entertainment industry at a party. And Andy Cohen had asked the question, who were you most surprised about when you came out with that story? Who were you most surprised about supporting you when it came to you revealing this information? And we all know Terry Crews. Most of us know him as Damon or Chris's father on Everybody Hates Chris or whatever the fuck. So, or the Old Spice commercial guy that knows how to like move his pecs and shit. So Terry Crews' response to that was, he was like, you know what? Black women, I was most surprised about Black women being so supportive of me. And he's a Black male. So I'm just like, I'm sitting here like, I can't believe this nigga said this shit. But, you know, it was funny to me because this is Terry Crews. You know, a lot of people love Terry Crews. And when they found out that information, a lot of people were joking about it. You know how trolls be. You know, a lot of people thought it was funny. But I feel like that's where us Black women come in, where we understand all shit ain't funny. All shit ain't a game. To me, the reason why I was so surprised about it is because why is it so hard to believe that people who are discriminated on and devalued on a daily basis, why is that so hard to believe that they want to root for others to win? Or we're rooting for you to heal. We're rooting for you to be your best self. Why is that so hard to believe? Or why is that a surprise? It should never be a surprise because I feel like all the Black women that I've known throughout my life, throughout my journey, throughout my walk, even the hating ass ones, it's always a lesson, but for the most part, it's always support. because I understand where you're coming from. I look just like you. I've been through the same things you've been through. So I'm not going to sit here and be the same as the hecklers and bring you down, because you already going through that. You've already dealt with that. People are already expressing that towards you. So what can I do to be different? What can I do to show that I actually give a fuck? I'm going to support you. And I feel like that's what Black women do naturally for whatever reason that they can. We're going to support whoever we feel like needs support. I feel like we're always going to be empathetic and sympathetic towards people and their issues because we're so used to people dismissing ours. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a little passionate about that. I got a little gangster. Why does it seem everyone wants to be understood, but lacks the effort to understand? I feel like as Black women, we are more so tolerated than celebrated. Don't say you support Black females, Black women, Black queens, Black anything, then stand on the sidelines and watch others violate, devalue, and degrade us. So, moving on. A lot of this shit I can't even say nothing to. I'm like, I wrote this? Like, oh, girl. Anyways, but it's about that time because I feel like it needs to be talked about for real. Okay, so the Q word. When I speak on the Q word, I am referring to the word queen. Even in some instances, it is a fitting compliment for most of us, but let's be real for a second. In reality, no one truly refers to us in this manner for real. So serious question, why do we take pride in saying or being called a queen? Now, I don't really care about being called queen because the only time that I think queen, when I think queen in my head, I think about Queen Elizabeth. I think about her eating little Black babies. I don't know the bitch. I just don't. And I've never been there. I've never been in a, whatever it's called, a monarchy. I don't even fucking know. See, I don't even know. So why would I consider myself a queen and I've never done queen things? You feel me? So to me, I think of that, and I also think about the definition of queen. If I am not what the definition is saying that a queen is, I cannot claim myself to be one. So I don't care to be called that. I would rather you call me by my name. Call me Kaisha. If that's a little too hard for you, I might give you a nickname. But I would rather be called by my name because I feel like sometimes when people use queen with us, it's used wickedly. Kind of like a mind game, just like our beauty, we are told all these characteristics or requirements that are supposedly queen-like. But when we don't exude those characteristics, we get, well, that's not how a queen should act. Like, you ain't supposed to, queens don't do that. Queens don't do that. Well, this queen just farted, my nigga. So what are you going to do? Like, you don't expect me to have flatulence because I'm a queen? Like, there's just some things that I'm just like, I just use that as an example and it was a stupid ass one, but I'm just putting it out there to where it's like how people are so quick to label you and then take it back. It's just like that brother that you see at the party that's eyeing you all day. That's like, damn, she fine. And he want to dance with you and you tell him no. And then he say, you a fat, ugly bitch anyway. You know what I mean? It's shit like that to me. The word queen gives me those vibes. Like, you use it whenever I am appeasing you. But whenever I'm not doing so, then I'm not one anymore. I don't know. Make it make sense for me. The next topic is going to be femininity. Femininity is made now to be more intimidating and having a negative impact and influence on the opposite sex, giving a false masculine power that isn't natural. Examples of stereotypes of expressing femininity. And I feel like these are my own personal stereotypes because even though I'm talking about Black girl struggle today and talking about it in a general sense, some of this is going to be personal towards me because I'm speaking on my experience. So from the first video to this video is basically my opinion just wrapped all together. So I feel like when I express femininity, I'm either hypersexual, I'm a whore or a slut, attention seeking, or nasty as fuck. When I don't exude femininity, something's wrong with me, I'm gay, or I'm a box muncher, or I'm too masculine, or I'm a loser, bum, and careless. And that goes back to me saying about the makeup thing. Like, when you're not expressing femininity to what the world sees as feminine, it's like people are like, "Oh, you don't give a fuck, huh? You just like being an ugly bitch." Like, no, that's not the case. Because to me, regardless whether I have makeup on, whether I have a fly ass fit on, it don't matter. My femininity is going to exude anyway, because that is my nature. That is who I am, baby. That's who I popped out the womb being. You feel me? So outside of the stereotypes, our true feminine nature is still loving, open to love, nurturing, and understanding, regardless how we may mask or disguise it. I feel like this is every woman. It could be the angriest black mom that you've ever met in the world. She still is loving, open to love, nurturing, and understanding, even whenever she has to put on a face to where she can't show emotion. She can't be this person that you want her to be. She is still that naturally. I say all that just to say to my sisters, dab on it, nothing is wrong with you, okay? Stop thinking something is wrong with you. You are okay. As my mother would tell me, you're all right. You are fine. So stop always thinking of ways to alter your nature just to appease others. People always say women are emotional creatures, right? So why are we always so quick to allow others to talk us out of our emotions and quick to give ourselves the crazy card? We so willing to say that we toxic, we crazy, all these other things, these negative things to say about who we are as emotional beings. No, this is exactly who we are. One of my homeboys, Jeray, he actually hit me up one night and we watched I'm going to have to put it in the videos too, along with some Sister Aphrodite videos. It was basically a panel of women talking about, I forget what it was called, but Queen Yafua was on it. And there was this lady named Isis Wisdom, and she had said something that really caught me. All of them were discussing it, but it was just, she was talking about us women and how hard we are on ourselves. Like, nowadays, I always tell myself, be gentle with yourself. I tell my mother, be gentle with yourself. I feel like we all need to, not just women, but as from my experience and me being a Black woman, I feel like she was saying that us women, sometimes we think that we're supposed to be a certain way all the time. And if we fuck up, then we're a horrible person. You know what I mean? So if I'm consistently quiet all the time, the one day where I choose to overshare, I feel like shit about myself, because that's not what I'm supposed to do as a woman. But what Isis Wisdom was basically saying, what she was speaking on, was that us women, we are emotional creatures. So we're not always happy all the time. And I feel like that's even a stigma for Black people in general. But it's like, we are okay to go through emotions. We are still human beings going through a human experience. It is okay to not have good days all the time. You're not going to consistently be fire every day. Some days you're going to have to cry about some shit. Some days you're going to be angry about some shit. But that doesn't change who you are as a person, in my opinion. You are still you. And she was basically comparing us to like the phases of the moon, which the phases of the moon also coincide with our menstrual cycle. And that being gentle with yourself comes from, say one day I'm angry as fuck about something and like I just can't shake it. The next day I get up and I'm ready to conquer the world. That should be okay, because I'm going through my own experience. I know what I'm angry about. I know that this shit pissed me off, but the next day I wake up, God just gave me another chance to try again, to succeed in this life. So am I going to keep being angry consistently, or am I going to be gentle with myself enough to know, hey, we had a bad day yesterday, but we're going to pick this shit up and we're going to go back to business as usual? because we deserve that too. We deserve the same grace and understanding that we give to other people, other races, other people's fucking fucked up opinions and stereotypes of us. All the grace we give that, and we can't even give it to ourselves. Why? That's important, I feel like, for all of us to do, to be more gentle and be able to sit with those emotions sometimes. Sometimes we just want to, like, sometimes I'll catch myself getting upset about something and try and push it away or try and act like I forgot about it. Sometimes I need to sit in that shit. Sometimes I need to sit in it and think, why am I thinking this? What cycle am I trying to break? What have I learned from going through this and this making me angry? And how can I stop from it controlling me in the future? So whenever I get angry like this again, I know how to cope. I know how to talk myself down from this because it's never that deep. It's not that serious. Woo! Hold on, let me get some water, okay? Because that bitch spitting, looking ass. No, for real though. I'm having a good time. Not even tripping. Excuse me. I did have to burp though. So, Black women in social settings. To me, I'm going to talk about like identity, friendships, shit like that. So with social settings, the Black girl identity. I remember growing up being one of the few, most times one of the only Black girls with the lost soul of a plus-sized Spice Girl, where Justin Timberlake was my husband. The Justin Timberlake with the ramen noodle curls, not the one with the Jufro. It was before that, but the one with the ramen noodle curls. That's where I thought I was. When I was growing up, I went to a school that was predominantly white, and they were white folks with money. And so a lot of interactions or a lot of people that I got to see were of that background, or, you know, they had more. The haves, if you will. I feel like this is why representation is so important, whether you're a youth or an adult. I believe the less you see someone that looks like you, the more you believe those opportunities and things aren't available to you. So growing up on the basis of beauty, like my friends would be white and it'd be like, oh, they have long hair, and, you know, Justin probably wanted her more than he wanted me looking ass. But it would be like, you would think less of yourself because you don't look like that. And then you don't see it in the media. You don't see too many people going around that look like you that are actually doing productive things or things that are going to help other people. I remember a time when I was younger that the first Black representation that I could actually remember in my memory bank was seeing Dominique Dawes at the Olympics. I remember jumping off the couch and like doing the little landing shit. Whoop. I used to think I was the shit. I was just jumping off the couch. I didn't do no backflips or nothing like that. I wasn't trying to hurt myself, but just seeing her, the energy that I remember seeing her, and seeing a Black girl doing dope shit, like, and that could be me, you know, that gave me hope back then that, you know, not everything is a white person's game, even though it really is. I'm just saying, as far as like being able to do what you love, doing what you're passionate about. Dominique Dawes was passionate about that shit. That's why she went to the Olympics. But for me to be able to view it as a 6-year-old and see her on TV, like, whoa, like, she looks like me. And she winning medals. Like, that shit was fucking awesome. As far as social settings, about friendships and finding your tribe, I was talking to my homeboy again last night, and he wanted me to talk about why do Black women feel the need to compete all the time with each other? Why does it always seem like that they're so combative with each other? And I was like, you know what, my nigga, you right. You got a point. And this is what I've been talking about that I've been going through lately as well. So sometimes I spend my leisure time live streaming, and I will live stream. I love socializing with people. I don't do too much social shit right now. So my job and live streaming be some of the most social interactions I'll have when I feel up to it. So I live stream, talk to people about certain issues. I love talking about relationships, conspiracy, so many different things. But one night I was speaking on an incident that happened, and I want to see if I want to really share this story for real. So there is a woman, an older woman, that was talking about black men and how she was taking a break from them, whatever. You know, your prerogative. You do whatever you want. It's your life, your world, homegirl. Do you. You know what I mean? But she was also, once she started unraveling the reasons why, there was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of fucked up shit that happened to her from black men. So it started becoming more understandable as she started explaining herself. And while she was explaining herself, there were some black men that were in attendance, and there were some black men that were speaking back to her in the live stream that were like, man, this is too negative for me. Like, I don't know why y'all always feel like y'all gotta bash black men all the time and all this shit. Like, and to me, I'm thinking, my logic mind is like, she's not bashing you guys. She's telling her experience. She has the courage to share her experience in such a fucked up, judgmental place. She's being vulnerable right now. She is allowing you to see different sides of her that she's scared to bring out because of how she's been treated in her past. That is how I took it. Maybe it's because I'm a black woman and had similar traumatic experiences that I understood it that quickly, so easily. But to me, it was the fact that she couldn't speak on her experiences without people feeling like she was directing it towards bashing black men. I don't think she was necessarily bashing black men. I think she was speaking on her story and having the courage enough to reveal some things that we're scared to talk about, that we always push on the back burner because we don't want anybody to think that we're damaged goods. But spoiler alert, we're all damaged fucking goods, in my opinion. So, you know, you're no better than her. And just because you're not listening to what she's saying and trying to hear what she's saying, you really ain't shit. Because that doesn't matter to you, what she's been through, and you trying to break the cycle of being another black man to be like that. You're too worried about, well, you need to stop talking about us like that. Stop talking about us like that. So I took it upon myself to say in the live stream, I was trying to defend, saying to her or saying to the fellas that, like, she is not bashing you guys. She is just speaking from her black girl struggle, her black experience. She was a fair-skinned woman, so she was a light-skinned woman that has been through some shit, probably because of the stereotypes that they put on light-skinned women. But while I was defending them or whatever, this story ends up being really negative at the end, so I'm just going to miss all of that because I don't really interact with any of them anymore. Everyone has their own selfish agendas, right? But I was on my live stream talking to my homeboy, Jure, that watches the videos and lectures with me and stuff like that. I was talking to him about what happened, and I was telling him, like, you know, like, it's crazy how people just will flip your shit, flip your narrative to, you know, try and make their own. And while we were in the stream, I had received a phone call, as well as he even came on my stream to say it. He was watching me and he was telling me, why are you always defending and speaking up for black women and their feelings? Like, why are you doing that? I'm like, is this nigga stupid? Like, does he not know I'm a black woman? I don't know. Anywho, Why are you always defending and speaking up for bitches? Like, you know they wouldn't do that for you, right? You know they ain't doing that for you. You know? And to me, I don't give a fuck. Because I feel like now, as my father would say, what people got to say about me ain't none of my business. But when it came to him saying, like, why are you always defending and speaking up for black women and shit like that? They wouldn't do that shit for you. Regardless whether they would do it for me or not, I am a black woman. So I'm speaking from my own experience. And because there's not a lot of people out here that are speaking for us and defending us and making sure that we have a safe space to express ourselves, I'm going to say something. Regardless whether it's me in the situation, I always love to challenge different perspectives anyway. So I'm definitely going to look at it from both sides, Gemini life, but I'm also going to let you know, chill on her. Like, you should be clapping for her because she had the courage enough to tell us this shit. Like, this isn't shit that you tell somebody. You don't tell somebody a nigga beat you to a pulp on a daily basis. You don't tell somebody that you've been raped on a daily basis. You don't tell people that. That's shit that we have to hold in internally all the time. And for someone to say, you're defending this person, why are you defending them? They would never defend you. It wouldn't fucking matter. It wouldn't matter. I got me. That's cool. But y'all aren't understanding the bigger picture of it all. So that shit kind of pissed me off when that happened. But when it comes to the colorism and perceptions on loud versus quiet women, is I feel like there's a lot of, I gotta take another drink because I can't believe I'm about to get on this shit. So colorism. The same lady that I was defending, that I just spoke about on the story, excuse me, was talking to another light-skinned woman. And they were both going back and forth about, you know, how important it is for allowing darker black women to tell their stories. Because people are always putting them on the back burner and, you know, lessening their value. And, you know, they should be able to speak their truth too. As a black woman, and a light-skinned black woman at that always wanted to be a chocolate chip in my youth. Always wants my melanin popping in the summertime. I live to get crispy at this point. For you to just like negate everything that light-skinned women have been through, because I am a light-skinned woman as well. Stop dividing shit. Why are we always have to divide light skin, dark skin, nigga, we all black. So fight for the totality of all of us, not just for the ones that look a certain way. Because even though I'm a light-skinned woman and light-skinned women have these stereotypes, I'm still a fat bitch. So you think because I'm light-skinned, I'm gonna get more niggas than you? No, they see these chins. They ain't checking for a bitch. They ain't checking for me at all. So what you gonna use then? You know what I mean? Because we all have our stereotypes when it comes to light skin, dark skin, but I felt uneasy about it because these are two older, probably in their 40s, light-skinned women speaking about black women and their struggles, but leaving out light-skinned women as a whole because the dark-skinned sisters haven't got to speak up enough. If anything, because I admire to be a dark-skinned sister, if anything, these bitches have gave me hope. I've never seen a light-skinned bitch give me hope about shit. You know what I'm saying? Besides using the motherfucker. Like, I have never. So to me, shout out to Issa Rae for the black representation. Insecure is going to be my favorite show until I die. But anyways, it's just like, to me, things still happen to women, whether we're light skinned, dark skinned, skinny, fat, ugly, beautiful. We all have our struggles. And to just, X out other people's struggles, or to say, well, since she's light skinned, her struggles aren't as serious as the dark skinned girl over here. But in reality, Both of us have been raped. Both of us have been molested. Both of us have been taken advantage of. Both of us have traumatic experiences. Why can't we speak on them as a collective versus light skin, dark skin? Makes no fucking sense. I feel like even now with my best friends, like one of them's a chocolate chip. Shout out to my chocolate chip bestie. Shout out to my butter pecan bestie. And I'm the little caramel copper tone cutie in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we all have had our struggles. We all have had, I feel like my light skinned friend, my butter pecan bestie, the mixed one, she talked more shit about white people than I do. And I love it. But it's just like, you know, we all go through the same struggle. So when we talk about the Black girl struggle, it should be a collective. We don't need to be doing the colorism shit or trying to divide us because everybody else does. That's not what we even about. So why are we doing it to each other? Why is one's pain and struggle and trauma more important than the other? It makes no fucking sense. Also with the quiet versus the loud, I don't even really want to get into that because I have an outside voice inside, no matter where I am. But I feel like a lot of times that we get treated less or more than because of how we look or how we act. So because I am a loudmouth individual, you know, I deserve not to be taken seriously. Whereas the quiet girl, she's so quiet, you know, you don't know what's going on with her. So you could leave her out because she don't ever want to speak up on shit. So, you know, leave her out of this one. You know, there's certain things that I feel like we take on so much white people shit. It's ridiculous. Like we take on so many of their stereotypes and ideals of who we are as a people that it's starting to get really crazy. And I'm starting to see like more Black people lately starting to show more white characteristics as far as like beliefs and what the fuck they talk about. Cause I'm just over it. Like I can't even get into what I want to talk about. Hashtag pray for Kanye. But anyways, I also have to end this one because this is the end of this because I'm getting way too personal, way too invested in this convo. Being the token and people being obsessed with our beings and their fascination with our beings. I'm also going to tie it into the piece of meat convo because I feel like everybody categorizes Black women to be the same Black women that they see on Real Housewives of Atlanta or the Megan Thee Stallion WAP video. Like they think we're all like that. People that don't deal with Black people on a daily basis. I remember a former acquaintance of mine. She was into belly dancing and meditating with white people and fucking going out with them, drinking, partying, whatever. And at the time, like I was probably the only Black friend she had at the time when she moved out here to Tulsa. So I would go with her because, you know, a nigga was broke at the time. I would go with her to the belly dancing. I might do some little shit in the seat, but I ain't got enough money to pay for this shit. But I would sit there and, you know, watch their interactions and, you know, I feel like she took me with her to give me some inspiration, but it really didn't inspire me because I'm seeing all these people that don't look like us. Not only that, but it's like, come on. Like, nigga, come on. Anywho, I can't even really get into that either. But the piece of meat convo. One day we were at her little belly dancing class or whatever. And after it's over, they're like, hey, do y'all want to go have a drink? Y'all want to go to the bar or whatever? And so, you know, sure. And my white people say, sure. So we go to this bar. It's like a little hole in the wall. It's a little dive bar, majority white bar. There's a couple tokens walking around, of course. But we were like the only two Black women. And so while we were there, I just always act like the awkward Black girl, no matter where I'm at. Like I act like I'm a chaperone or some shit. So she's sitting there dancing with these white folks or whatever like that. And I'm just standing there outside. I go outside and smoke my cigarette, and they're still like in the doorway dancing and shit like that. Well, a song comes on, like a black song comes on, and my friend, she starts twerking, or my friend at the time, she starts twerking. Well, out of nowhere, because white people don't understand boundaries, this white lady comes up and starts slapping her ass, like grabbing her ass, my nigga, like crazy as fuck. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, I can't believe this shit is happening. Like, and my friend got so uncomfortable because right before we even talked about that, right before that shit happened, we were talking about Hottentot Venus, or Sarah Bartman, where she was the slave, or I don't even think she was a slave. I think she was a freed person, an African woman that wanted to be an entertainer. She wanted to be a singer, and got held captive by some Frenchmen that took her back to France and put her on display like a sideshow, and let people pay to touch her, and while she was butt ass naked and all kinds of shit like that. We just got done talking about that shit. So when she started twerking and shit and that white lady grabbed her ass, I just looked at that bitch like, bitch, we just got done talking about this shit. You love these white people though. You love them. You love being around these hoes. It was just crazy, like, to me, that you have the audacity to not respect my boundaries, but you just think that you could just grab my ass because I'm over here shaking it. Like, you just think you could do that. That shit was crazy. The fascination about her just being able to do that. And then after that, she doesn't see anything wrong with what she's doing because she saw the ass that was twerking, wanted to pat on it. So she's like, trying to make up for it. How do I do that? Ain't no coming back from that, G. Like, you already fucked up the relationship, my nigga, in my opinion. But, that's the kind of people that's the kind of company she kept. And even progressing on that, the reason why we're probably no longer friends to this day is because she allowed those same white people to tell her that I was jealous of her. Like, I don't even know where the fuck they got that from, but I was supposedly jealous of her. Mind you, on the side, but my homegirl knew this. Mind you, on the side, I'm going through this depressive state, also figuring out my spiritual journey. So my spiritual journey just begun. I was diving into crystals and figuring out different kinds of shit and really asking God with intentions of knowing who I was. Like, I had all that shit going on, plus being depressed, plus being unemployed. It was so much shit going on at that time. And the only thing that your white counterparts can tell you about the only black friend that you have is she's probably just jealous of you. And so my homegirl took that and ran with it, and is probably still thinking that to this day. Thankfully, now that I have grown and blossomed into a better being, I don't give a fuck what they think. So when it comes to the piece of meat convo as well, I wanted to touch on a point where I was working overnights for this third party. And that's when WAP just came out. WAP just hit the wave streams, looking at, I don't know what the fuck they say, but something like that, right? And this dude that I used to work with and talk to on breaks and lunch and stuff, he was like, have you heard the new WAP song? And I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, no, I haven't, because I don't listen to that type of music anyway. So no, I haven't. And he was like, man, you have to listen. Have you saw the video? Like, no, like, I haven't. That's not important to me. You know what I mean? But it was like he was so fascinated with the fact that, like, these black women are talking about that they want to get their pussy licked and stick. Like, he was so, like, it was so brave of them. Like, it was so courageous. First and foremost, if I'm doing all that shit that Megan Thee Stallion and them talk about in their songs, nigga, I don't want nobody knowing what I do to my nigga. Because might lose them. You know what I'm saying? I can't give you the cheat codes. Not only that, is because as a woman, I feel like that ain't nobody business. No way. So it was crazy to me when that song came out. It reminds me of the piece of meat thing, because it was like, since I see these black women twerking with fat asses and having their titties on display, my titties ain't never been propped up like the bitches on the videos. And that's an ultimate life goal. Might have to get some titty fat removed. But it's just the fact that once they see something of us, it's like, oh, they must all be like this. Like, just like it was probably around 2012 or 13. I remember the Sharkeisha wave, no pun intended. The Sharkeisha wave, where people were like, all the white people were asking you, do you know who Sharkeisha is? Have you seen the fight? So now everybody thinks that we fight like Sharkeisha. Like, everyone wants to beat bitches to a pulp. We're not all the same. With that being said, wrapping up the friendships part, find your tribe and your vibe. The first time that I've actually did this, like after I waited the 5 years and then I got back onto finally the courage to do this channel and speak about my writings and things like that. The first subliminal message I seen was on Facebook, and it was about somebody talking about my teeth. And it was from another black woman. And it was so crazy to me that my teeth and the lack of whiteness of them was more important than listening to what I had to say. I will never forget that shit, and I know exactly who it is, and I ain't even got shit to say after that. Like, that shit was just crazy to me, like the things that we choose to seek. Because to me, I thought that she was supportive of who I was, and in some ways part of my tribe. But you're not a part of my tribe if all you could do is find ways to find something wrong with what I'm doing. Because real people, real friends, real support, real love doesn't do that. Find your tribe and your vibe, and don't let them go. Don't take advantage. Don't ever forget, because even though I only have two friends, they're the most important friendships that I'll ever have. I've had them since I was in 9th grade, and we still talk as grown adult women, even with our own separate lives. But I will never stop supporting them, regardless when I see them, when I talk to them, the next. It wouldn't even matter, because they still have my love and unconditional support. Also, Neely Fuller Jr. Says there's 3 things that you shouldn't have to ask for when it comes to relationships: apologies, love, and respect. To me, what I took away from him saying that is, if it's genuine, it will be given naturally. So apologies, love, and respect. If I genuinely love you, if I genuinely respect you, I will give you my love and respect naturally. Apologies. If I done fucked up and I done said some slick ass shit to you or something foul, I could own up to that on my own too. You don't have to ask me for one, because I know I was wrong. So genuine people do genuine shit. And I just wanted to say that before we get started on Black women in the workplace. So, salute to all the Black women working. Extra shout outs to the ones that work, go home and invest the same time and effort and energy into their families as they would their jobs. Y'all are the real ones, because I feel like the hardest thing to do is find a work-life balance. And the fact that I grew up with my mother teaching during the school day, coming home, probably burning her motherfucking arms, trying to cook some pork chops and some bomb-ass sides, and clean the house, and vacuum, and clean the tub, and clean the toilet. Like, that y'all do all that. We are really officially Wonder Women, aka the GOATs. Okay. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost. My friends wanted me to talk about this subject for a minute because I think there's stereotypes about Black folks being lazy, not willing to work. And I think from those stereotypes, it's turned us all, really, not just Black women, but Black folks in general, it's turned us into some workaholic ass beast. Like, or it could be the total opposite extreme. It could be that they're playing into the stereotype and using it to be better for themselves. So to me, I feel like me, along with a lot of people that I know, we have a superhero complex when it comes to trying to defy those stereotypes and showing that we're deserving of the opportunities that we get. Not only that, but we are willing and able to put in the work to afford, maintain, and enjoy the lifestyles in the way we get to see others doing it. We work hard, yet we still get criticized and judged for our hard work. Sometimes we're told that we don't work hard enough, even if we are a hard worker. Sometimes even with the hard workers and people acknowledge that you're a hard worker, they'll give you more work and expectations without raising your pay or giving you any incentives either. I've had some fucked up work experiences and I don't want to get personal or get into them as far as this video goes, because there's a lot of racial undertones, if you will. But I just want to touch on something that my father would tell me, because I feel like I am a hard worker. I claim to be that. And I pride myself on that because I take pride into the places that give me opportunities to be a better woman, to be able to make a living, to be able to have some money in my pocket and use that as tools to get me to where I really want to be. So I talked to my father about a lot of things, and work is one of them. And one time I brought up, like, man, I can't stand it. I do all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, act like I'm somebody special. I do shit all the time. I don't stop working. I never stop. Shit like that, right? And he was like, oh, nigga, bravo type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, good for you. He used to tell us all the time when we were younger, like, when we try and get accolades for something, like, I'll high five the mailman. When he come and deliver my mail, he doing his damn job. So, you know, he's always going to have those old black guy sayings, funny as hell. But when it comes to work ethic, he was telling me, like, get out of your motherfucking head. Like, you starting to sound like them now. You starting to sound like them white folks. They have to tell everybody what they do and shit. Like, chill out, my nigga. Like, he basically told me, when it comes to work ethic and it comes to what I do at work, because I get frustrated sometimes with how much that I overly extend myself with my work and with what I do. And he's basically told me, like, hey, like, your work ethic is amazing. You're awesome. You're a dope ass individual. Cool. Great. You're working. You're doing your job. That's what we need, right? But he's like, you know, sometimes you got to just think about it as far as you would do it anyway. So when it comes to my work ethic, like, you do all this shit and you overextend yourself, not just because of the stereotypes or people automatically think that you're of the stereotype of being lazy or not a good worker. You're doing all that because that's the person you are. That is who you are. You go out of your way to help people because that's who you are. You go out of your way to make sure everything is done, shit is clean, because that's who you are. And then he was like, other people don't do that because that's who they are. So your work ethic and who you are and what you choose to do should never stop. And you should never complain about it either. As far as, like, we allow ourselves sometimes to burn the fuck out because we're so used to having to be on go. But we can be gentle when it comes to that shit as well. Because I feel like a lot of times we overwork ourselves just to show people like I could do this, I'm capable. But whenever it comes to us almost burning out or being worn down because of what all the work that we've been doing, like it's not even really worth it. So just take your time. Another place where you need to be gentle with yourself. To me, I feel like it's hard to speak on hardships at work because white people always assume you're playing the race card. I love this. When they have no real relation to the oppression we face, either minor or major. So no matter what oppression we face, we're going through whatever like that, they're still not going to understand it because they've never had to struggle like that. They've never had to walk into a store and people be like, oh, don't help them. They're black. They're in here or they're white. They're about to steal. You know what I'm saying? So follow them. They've never had to do shit like that with just in their daily lives. So let alone at work, whenever something happens and it becomes racial or it is racial, you can't really speak on it because by law, it's discriminative. And they don't understand that, I talk like this to everyone. Like, I'm a bitch to everyone. So I don't know why you think you're offended. And I don't know why you think it has something to do with your color, because I hate everybody. I'm a cunt. You know what I mean? So we need to start thinking better about ourselves, being more gentle at work, making sure that everyone takes their responsibilities, because even there's some people right now, the job that I'm at right now is the most stress-free I felt since I started working jobs at 18. And there will be some times where I'm like, I overly extend myself because I take pride in what we're doing and I work with some dope ass individuals. So I want shit to be on point. But there will be some times as a woman, I want to say, #I know my place. Because sometimes I don't want to pick up a big ass heavy box. And they'll be like, sit your ass down. Like, I got it. Like, you don't have to do everything, bitch. And that's a relief for me because usually with our situations, our experiences, they're always looking for us to do shit, So I love that. I love whenever people take initiative and help you, even whenever they know what kind of person you are, they know that you are focused and you're a hard worker, they still want to take that load off of you because we in this together. I feel like work relationships or being in the workplace, it should feel like a community. It should feel like a work family. Yes, some of us fucking hate each other. Some of us can't stand a bitch. Some of us smoke with each other. Some of us drink with each other after work. There's certain things like we should be able to coexist and talk about what really bothers us, or we should be able to help each other more. I went all over the motherfucking globe with that. I don't even know where I was going to end up. Anywho, I feel like also to wrap this up, because I just went totally too far. I feel like white folks always have the pick yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, or it's not hard, use your resources. I feel like, and for whatever white person watching this, I hope that you can agree, that's some bullshit. So to me, someone cannot tell me about me or my people that have never had to experience what me and my people have went through. So you're not going to tell me pick myself up by my bootstraps, bitch. I didn't have no boots on. Bitch, I still got my slave moccasins on. You feel me? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's not hard to use your resources. Like, not everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that owns a company, and they're going to give you a chance. We don't get those same opportunities. And I wish that white people would understand that more whenever it comes to hiring people of color or working with people of color. Like, we rarely get opportunities. So when we do get them, we want to be our best. But we do not want to be beat down, taken advantage of, used and abused like we are in other walks of our lives. Sometimes we need a getaway. Sometimes we need somewhere safe to go to. We make it for everybody else. Why can't we have a little bit? Whew, honey, I'm almost done, y'all. Almost done. Didn't think I could make it this far, baby, but I'm here. This is why I don't like being sober. I'm way too turned for no fucking reasons. And I said reasons. Nigga, what the fuck? Anywho. Next topic is relationships. And I'm talking about romantic ones. So I'm talking about the relationships between male and female. My experience. If y'all do anything else, that's your business. Not really concerned. But I call her my mentor sometimes. I call her my friend. Her name is Miss Brenda. I used to work with her. She was my manager. And we still converse to this day about certain things, talk about our spirituality. We have so many deep conversations. I asked her last night if there was anything she would like me to speak about whenever I make this video. And I'm starting off the relationship aspect with this because it makes sense. And I feel like any of this can be applied to Black women or men. It's just about the Black girl struggle today because that's what I experience. And I can't stress that enough. Because I feel like a lot of people tell me about my videos, well, you speak a lot about your opinion, or it's really opposing. Your opinion always opposes somebody else. It's my opinion. It's my experience. So let me speak on that. I can't speak for everybody else, but I could speak for me. So when I asked Miss Brenda, what could I talk about that you would like to hear me talk about when it comes to the things that we usually talk about? She said, we must begin to value ourselves before getting into any relationship. She then expanded upon that, saying, men know women are thirsty for them because they're trying to fulfill themselves. And that is a ripe ground to be used. To me, it makes me think that we are, as a society, we're becoming more accepting of emotional and physical abuse. When it doesn't affect us, we don't give a fuck. So, value ourselves before getting into relationships. To me, that just means doing the work. So, goes back to my first video, knowing and loving yourself. How long did it take for me to even get started to do these videos and record myself doing these videos without editing? Because I'm not editing. Y'all gonna hear all my big girl breaths. You gonna hear my stomach rumble. You gonna see my ashy white lips. You gonna see all that shit. I don't have shit to hide. But I had to know who I was. Like, even now, I'm 32 right now. And even thinking back a couple months ago, I was not where I am right now. And to be honest, to me, I didn't value myself enough to give a fuck about what I want. So I was allowing men in my life that were comeback kids. I call them comeback kids. Those are the niggas that tell you how fucked up and disrespectful and nobody wants your ass type shit, and then come back a year or two later, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple of weeks. It depends on what kind of fuck nigga you dealing with. But once that started happening, the last time that happened to me was the last time that happened to me. So because I realized who I was and what I really wanted, because I had to really think, what do I want in a relationship? I want a good man that's going to treat me right. He's going to know how to talk to me. You know, he's going to show me love. He's not going to want to argue all the time. Like, we might have our arguments, but we fight with each other, not against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're fighting for solutions. We're not fighting to keep fighting and fucking and being fucking angry as shit. We're not doing all that. So it took me to like actually look into myself and say, even from my first video, knowing and loving yourself. So I had to do not only the work of knowing and loving myself, then experience fuck niggas in my life and keep repeating that cycle until I finally had to stop and say, okay, this isn't what I want. Sitting on the phone arguing with this nigga is not what I want. I don't want to do this every day. And like how black men say, be my peace. I need some peace too, damn it. So, nigga, you bringing home Chipotle or what? Like, what are we doing here? I just feel like I had to do a lot of work within myself and knowing who I was and seeing my own value, even though my value was shaky because I was still falling back into the cycle of dealing with toxic ass niggas that treated me like I was disposable. So from the last straw of that was like, okay, enough is enough. So what am I looking at now? This is the kind of man that I want. Am I producing the lifestyle that shows me that this man is somewhere in it? Oh, no? Okay, we got some fixing to do. We need to do some shit different. And I feel like that's basically what she was saying is find that value within yourself first. Know how to love you. Know, even with me and finding out who I am, there's shit about myself that I find annoying as hell. Like even with me talking loud like Samuel L. Jackson right now, I'm annoyed, but I have to do this for me. You know what I mean? There are some things that that I'm irritated with myself about that I still can give myself grace on because this is who I am. I can't help, and I'm not trying to be anyone else, but I can't help who I am. So if you fall in love with me, you're falling in love with this exact person, and it's going to be like this. You know what I mean? This is going to get hard for me, I believe, but I hope not. Like, I hope I could just finish it because I'm almost finished. So within the acceptance of emotional and physical abuse, I feel like there's verbal in there too. So many things in there. We produce low self-esteem, which makes us feel insecure about who we are. One of my homegirls wanted me to talk about that last night, and I had thought of my own personal experience. So there's a time where I was talking to a man and he was very active. He was an athlete. And when I would talk to him, he would say, well, what are you doing? And I'd be like, nothing, nigga. Like, he'd be like, well, get up and do something. Like, nigga, you're not inspiring me to be better. That doesn't help me. And from somebody who says that they're so interested in me and so, you know, because niggas like to act like they in love and shit. So for somebody who acts like they're so accepting of me and my being, why is it that you're inspiring me negatively, kind of, like to do shit that I probably wouldn't normally do anyway? Like, because you're never around whenever I'm naturally just doing things that inspire or make me feel good. So whenever I'm not doing those things and you always are bored and want to call me and I'm not doing shit, you're mad because I'm not doing shit. So then that caused me to want to eat my motherfucking feelings. And me and my homegirl was talking about that last night. I put a post on Twitter that says, all the good girls ain't gone, we just fat. Hey, might be an actual factual at this point, because some of y'all niggas are starting to look like some fat bitches too. But that's neither here nor there. We ain't talking about y'all today. I feel like we eat our feels because it's like, how can we express ourselves when we're always being told that we're wrong? So I'm going to eat. This nigga thinks that I'm ugly. I'm going to eat. This nigga thinks that I'm not worth a damn. I'm going to eat. I just got some dick and it wasn't satisfying. And this nigga called me a hoe afterwards because I didn't want to go round 2, 3, 4. I'm eating. You know what I mean? I'm with this nigga that ain't no good, and I know this motherfucker ain't no good, but I ain't doing shit about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat. I'm scared to confront this nigga because this nigga might Chris Brown the shit out of me. So I'm gonna eat. So I feel like there's different things and different ways that you can see low self-esteem. Not saying that all of us big girls is just fucking sad and depressed about being big, because even though I got these chins, I ain't gonna stop eating. I'm not gonna stop eating Chipotle tonight, nigga, because I'm fat. Like, I'm not gonna do none of that to help somebody else feel better about being with me. You was never for me then, because you didn't care. You didn't care about none of that whenever you was trying to get this pussy, though. But anyways, I feel like that's the importance of why we need to communicate more in relationships, why we should talk more, why we need to be able to be expressive of our feelings, because if not, we just keep doing that shit. As women, stop eating our feelings up. Let's go do something. I'm even talking to myself at this point, because a bitch tired of eating now, shit. I would have never thought that I would be tired, honey, but I'm tired. But I want to get back into the things I love as well. And I feel like a real man that really has your best interest in your life, he's going to encourage you to do those things. I'm going to be encouraged to go out and walk again and be able to let my melanin pop in the sun. All the things that I used to enjoy, I'll be able to sew again because he's got me inspired to do this thing that I've been trying to do for a whole fucking year or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain things. I feel like men don't understand how influential they are. And that, I feel like that hurts us too, is that we base so much of our honor, respect on them that they don't even see it themselves. So why are we over here telling him he the greatest man alive? This nigga don't know that. But he gonna use that to get some more pussy, but he don't know that he's a good man like that he inspired you to be better. And there's not a lot that want to. I feel like there's a lot that just solely focus on, I'm going to get what I want to get, and then I'm moving on to the next bitch. I'm not even worried about you after this, So I feel like there's a lot that we're doing to mask our feelings. Eating has to be one of them. But I feel like we can shake that shit. Even if we have to shake it. From my experience, my personal experience, I feel like what I'm coming to terms with is being my own superhero. I'm going to have to work like my mom. And I'm going to have to motivate myself enough, to love myself enough, to get myself out of this situation. Okay, I don't like having 3 chins. So what am I going to do? You know what I mean? I got to start doing something. I got to start dancing more. Yes, I dance here and there, but I don't dance as long as I used to. And I smoke too. So it's like, my 3-hour dance sessions went from 3 hours to 30 minutes, nigga, and where the food at looking ass. You know what I mean? So there's things even in my personal life, and I'm speaking on that just to let you know you're not alone. And that struggle is understood. So stop thinking that you're not enough, because maybe it's the nigga that ain't, and that's words from my pops himself. But he's like, maybe it ain't you. Maybe it's that nigga that ain't shit looking ass. But, we'll never know that if we don't know our own value, if we don't see that we are worthy of everything that we want. Because even though I have had my past trauma and my past experiences, I still deserve a good man. And I'm not going to let nobody tell me no different, because I'm still a good woman and I work on being the best woman I could be every day. So ain't no nigga that don't know me and don't know what I've been through gonna tell me what the fuck I deserve, or I need to humble myself, or you ain't telling me shit. Go worry about them 12 kids you got over there, besides worrying about what the fuck I'm doing. Lil Wayne tone. Anyways, I don't know why I'm going through this today, y'all. Like, it would have probably been better if I was high for real, but I'm not even tripping right now. I'm just letting myself be what I am. I also want to talk about I don't date black guys, but I really don't want to waste my time on that, because all that is assumptions and stereotypes, again, from white folks and the media telling us who black women are and why we're not worth a damn. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that person for you. to where I'm your punching bag, because I'm not your punching bag. I'm supposed to be your lady. I'm supposed to be a woman. I don't like the fact that brothers most of the time make it seem like it's so like us as black women, because I'll even speak on another thing, which I'm tired of getting personal here, but like it, to make the points, to connect the dots, I kind of have to. So this black dude recently, I took interest in him because he's intellectual. I love an intellectual brother. Yum. Chocolate too. Double yum. Okay? But this nigga didn't even take the time to get to know who I was before he started accusing me of everything that I was. So he's telling me that I was aggressive and, you know, I talk like a nigga and saying all this stuff. And to me, being realistic with myself, you probably motherfucking right, my guy. Like, you are probably, no lies detected here. We don't even need Maury. We don't need the lie detector test. You probably ain't lying. But guess what? First of all, I'm not aggressive. I feel like I do have a, I don't want to say masculine either, because Geminis are masculine, I believe. But like, I just have this like, what my friend used to say, my Taurus friend, which any Taurus telling me that I come off strong should never tell me that. But you come off strong a lot of times. Like, I think that's what it is. And I feel like it's intimidating for people. Is I am that person that will jump into a group of strangers and act like I've known these niggas. Like, I will be that person. And I'll have us all talking and building and communicating effectively. Like, I'm that person. And I'm cool with that. And I own that shit. But it was just upsetting to me that here's a brother that talks about intellectual shit all the time, talks about relationships, talks about shit that I'm actually in tune with, in line with. And the fact that he's already, before even trying to grow to know me, you're already putting shit out there, excuses or reasons why you can't fuck with me. And to me, I feel like if it's just because I'm fat, because I got a couple more chins than usual, nigga, just say that. I ain't worried about all the extra shit. You don't have to call me aggressive, none of that shit. Just say I ain't for you, honey. And I will move the fuck on. And that's cool. So that's what I feel like that, like Miss Brenda said, the value of ourselves is way more important than what everyone else thinks is important or what everyone else thinks that we should be like. The thing that trips me out the most is that brothers sometimes, and not all of the brothers, some brothers are hating, envious, and bashing the feminine nature that is sent here to help and assist you. The same women that you're talking about are aggressive and hard to deal with. And oh my God, you talk like a nigga. I am a nigga. Looking at us. But like, I didn't mean that. But it's like, I'm here to help you. Even with me, I don't want a nigga that's always going to agree with everything I say. I want you to be able to challenge my ways of thinking. I want you to be able to inspire me in ways that I didn't even think I could do this. But you told me A, B, and C. So now I'm thinking, I got this shit. I could do this shit. You know what I mean? I feel like I wish we were like that towards each other. There's such a disconnect between our relationships now. In my own opinion, give me the same focus you give them football, baseball, and basketball games. Give me that same enthusiasm you get purchasing something new, whether it be a vehicle, whether it be some shoes, whether it be a fresh ass fit. Give me that same enthusiasm. Or if you want to go there, if you want to be my piece, my nigga, bring me them chill vibes you got when you hitting that Henny, nigga, or you on that Douce, or on that good weed strain, nigga. Give me that same comfortability. From Miranda, shout outs to you, girl. Last night, I was talking about the cocktail to harmonious relationship is faith plus trust plus compromise. I truly believe that. I should have said that after this, what I'm about to talk about, but the submissiveness and power struggle. Someone wanted me to talk about that last night as well. And to me, I was basically being told that us Black women, we're not submissive enough anymore. We are trying to take over, in regards to the power struggle, we're trying to take over men's roles in life. The tradition of a man being the provider, protector, all of that. Now women, the roles are reversing and we are trying to be that now, which I don't necessarily believe. I don't think that we're trying to be anything than who we are and who we've been programmed and conditioned to be, for real. So to me, when it came up, I was explaining to that person last night that as a woman, I am naturally submissive. So to me, it makes no sense that I need to be more submissive to niggas that don't deserve submissiveness. I don't need to crown you king because you told me you want to get to know me. As Ayanna Fix My Life would say, do the work. You know what I'm saying? Do the work, okay? To me, when it comes to submissiveness, if I'm naturally submissive, all it takes from you is that effort, hashtag do the work, and trusting you to know that you have my back. If I trust you enough to know that you have my back and I know that you're here for me and this is what we do, I have no problem submitting or being submissive to anything that you have for me because I trust you. You are my person. You are my man. So if you're my man, I'm already trusting in you anyway. You shouldn't have to ask me to be submissive because I'm already that for you. And as far as the power struggle goes, I think a lot of women are not necessarily wanting to be the mother and the father, as they would say, but they have no option. My father used to tell me all the time, the thing about men that men can leave at any time. The woman has to be pregnant and sits there growing that baby for 9 months. If that nigga wants to leave and go out and do his thing, he can do whatever he wants, whether the baby has arrived or not. Chooses to be in the baby's life if he wants to or not. Women don't have the choice. So I feel like a lot of time these women are taking initiative in more masculine roles because they're so used to niggas not being there. You haven't followed through for shit but some hard dick and bubble gum. Like, I can't trust you to have my back with anything else, but please go get me some bubblicious. You know what I mean? I'm over that. Moving on. We're going to conclude because I'm coming up on almost 2 hours, which is unbelievable. But anybody who stayed with me this long, thank you kindly. Thank you much. A lot of my shit was chopped up just because I couldn't get, my brain ain't braining right now. As they say, the math ain't math and the brain ain't braining right now. So, dreams, we can make them real. Deep down, we're all suffering about something. We are given praise for being strong, and when we feel weak, it's something that we hide. We should be seen in all facets of our being, not just the traits, looks, and behaviors others are used to and bias about who we are in our truth. Whether considered high or low in regards to our society, what matters as core values is knowing who we are why we are and doing the things that make us happy while inspiring each other to do the same. We are more than our bodies, and the value is deeper than what you put on. The inner work is always honest, dealing with not just the good vibes only facade, but dealing with everything that you are. Thanks, UPS. Oh no, that nigga didn't ring the doorbell twice. Okay, but anyways, sorry. Love yourself enough to develop yourself to be the best you can be. As Miss Brenda said before, know your value before hopping into any relationship, not just romantic relationships. Make sure that you do that when it comes to friends. Not everybody has your best interest. So you make sure that it feels good to your gut. I feel like that's another thing that I would give or advise women. Your intuition, stop ignoring that shit. I am one of those people that ignored my intuition because I wanted to trust that a nigga had my back and his word was fucking truth. #Bible. And it wasn't. So anytime that you feel something, your gut, your intuition, your instinct, feel that shit and move with that, because that's what really has your best interest. I feel like a lot of times we talk about it and it's cliche to most, but everything that we need is already in us. And I believe that. I truly feel that way now. I know it to be true, because even though I am single, even though I'm still struggling in my life, like, I am enough. Like, every time I wake up every day and when I do go to work, I make sure that I don't take this shit out on nobody. Even if it's some personal feelings, my personal world, my love life's fucked off, something's going on. Like, I still want people to know that I'm a good person. I'm human. I'm going through my shit, but that don't mean I have to treat you differently. That don't mean I have to treat you like shit. You know what I mean? I hope y'all feeling me. I don't know. Love yourself enough to develop yourself to be the best you can. Listen to your instinctual feelings. Know that God would never steer you wrong, let alone yourself. This is your own self. This is your own soul, your own spirit. You think your own spirit gonna tell you, nigga, go do this and get fucked up looking ass? No. I feel like the Creator wants the best for us, so we need to do our best. We need to do our best. Shout out to the Butter Pecan Bestie, aka Ashley, saying live your best life and ignore the ignorance. Last and final notes. People that have an issue respecting you don't respect themselves. Like Nelly Fuller said, don't ever ask a motherfucker for an apology, for love or respect. Those are things that you can give yourself and move forward accordingly. You're always enough. You've always mattered even before you watch this motherfucking video. So please keep that same energy when you go out into this world, giving people and showing people who you really are, your truth, your love, your understanding, your compassion for others. Stay true to that and never let anyone deter you. I'm about to tear up because so much shit in my life, I've based a lot of my life off of the opinions of other people. And, you know, I feel like my karma is where I'm at now. So it's only up from here. And that's the only place where I'm looking towards, is being better than that. Being better than who I used to be and all the fucked up shit that I did and all the fucked up opinions that were placed upon me that I was like, well, maybe that's who I am. Don't ever let anyone tell you who you are, especially motherfuckers that don't know shit about you. They only see you on the internet or they only see you in certain aspects. Don't let none of them motherfuckers tell you who the fuck you are and who you can be and what you are capable of. You are enough at all times. Just be you, because there will never be another you. You are the only you. You are valuable, you are worthy, and you are love. You are all those. I think I read something. by Tabitha Brown the other day. I actually retweeted it because she was like talking about the joy and the happiness she feels on a daily basis. And people are like, she's talking about people criticizing her like, ain't nobody ever that happy. And, you faking it. Like, why are you so fake about it? And she's like, you don't know what it took for me to get here. And to me, my side note was, shit, that's how I feel about beauty. That's how I feel about my joy, my happiness, and who I am as a person, even my character. Like, you don't know what it took me to get here. You don't know how many people shit on me. You don't know how many people stepped on my motherfucking neck to get where they needed to go and then leave me behind. You don't know what happened to where I'm at this place where I'm at right now. And I still have so much more work to do. Because I don't even feel like I'm confident enough to I can't even take compliments still. So, I'm not even confident enough to say that I am beautiful or I am this or that, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get there because I know I deserve to feel good too. As much as I make other people feel good and try and make them feel be understanding about their situations, I need the same. And it starts with us. You mean something to your loved ones. Regardless of what other people think, keep shining. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I hope you have a positive, productive rest of your week. Oh, it's Friday Eve. So we're going to have a good weekend. We're going to party. Okay, I don't know if we're going to do all that. But this is the last video. So if you are tuning in and if you made it to the end, bless your heart. I will be trying to do more things on more platforms. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I think it's between either Stereo, Twitter, or I don't know if I'm going to do it on Clubhouse, but I want to do some other things. Bring some other people in, Black males and Black females. I want us all to be in the mix together. And I want us to talk about some real shit. Like, I already have questions written up for every video. To where people can speak on their experiences. And I would love to share that with not only the people that follow and support me, but I also would like to share that with the people. I would like them to have a chance to share themselves and share their journeys, because all of our journeys aren't the same. All of our backgrounds, how we were raised, aren't the same. So it'd be refreshing to not only have myself, but some people that I admire or that I talk to be able to express their perspectives as well. So hopefully I get to do that. I'm going to post the playlist for video 7 because I have music playlists for all videos on the YouTube channel. If you ever wanted to take a listen, I always say it's best when you shuffle my shit because sometimes I get a little crazy with my how I add them on. So I'll make that available, as well as I don't know. What else do I got? I ain't got nothing else yet, but we gonna cook up some shit for sure. So if you are down, holla at your girl. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of your day. Positive, productive rest of your week. Stay up and ahead of the game. We got this shit. Take care.